Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a playthrough of the solo mode in Captain's Chair. This is the Star Trek themed game using the Imperium classics and other game card system. And disclaimer that I was sent a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You'll get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Captain's Chair is, again, based very heavily on the same deck building system as Imperium Classics, Legends, and Horizons. I think those are the three sets. And I will, at the end of the video, have not like a full review, but at least a comparison and kind of how I feel about the differences from those games. But I'm mainly going to play through a solo game against a sort of medium difficulty bot. I'm a big fan of Next Generation. That's my favorite Trek show. So I'm going to be playing as Captain Picard. They also have Cisco from Deep Space Nine, Burnham from, Discovery, and some villains and things. And each of the captains has an advanced and a basic side to their board. The advanced side has more missions you can complete, but has worse multipliers for these tracks down here. I'm going to try out advanced. I've been playing on basic, but I think it should be okay. You also start in play with your captain, who's going to have some kind of special power. In Picard's case, he loves making alliances with people and being a peacemaker. So he's got a bonus for recruiting allies at the end of the game, and he also gets a bonus whenever he gets an ally. He's also got a certain number of away teams, in this case 5. That's going to be different for each captain. Those are things that he can put down on planets that he controls and in the neutral zone. You'll see that in a minute. He also starts with the USS Enterprise D in play. You'll see it has deployed down here on the bottom. So for each captain, some cards are going to start in play, some are going to start in their deck. You also have, very similar to the Imperium system, cards in your reserve that you'll get to add to your deck whenever you go through your whole deck. And then once those are all gone, cards in your development area that you can pay to add to your deck, again, whenever you cycle through your entire deck once. And I'm starting with a hand of 5 cards. We'll get to what all of those do in a second, but let me show you the other areas of the board. Over here, we've got the market and the neutral zone, so the main cards we need to be paying attention to. The cards in the market come in 4 types. We've got people, cargo, ships, and allies. And you're going to see one face up, and the rest are up here waiting. Then you've got the neutral zone, which is where locations live. And what the players will be doing for these is sending their ships to these locations, and then also dropping off away teams. And if at the beginning of one of your turns you have at least 3 things here, that includes away teams and ships, and at least 2 more than your opponent, because you can try to lock each other out, then you get to control the card and a new location will be dealt. And these are all starting locations. There's 1 more on top of the deck, and then all the rest are advanced locations, so you kind of randomize which ones are in play each game. You got a couple other types of cards up here. These ones are called encounters. They're worth a ton of victory points. They're very similar to, I forget what they were called, the achievements, like kind of the laurel cards you would get in Imperium. And then here you've got incidents. These, if you played Imperium, are similar to unrest cards, although they come into play much less often. You've also got a Stardate card. And you have a different set of Stardate cards for 2-player, for the solo mode where you don't have a bot, if you're just like learning. And then for each of the difficulty levels of bots, this is a lieutenant bot. It's going to have these glory tokens on here. You'll be getting glory tokens from multiple sources, including one player will put them out on market cards at the end of every turn. And this is the game timer. So unlike Imperium, you're not sort of winning by emptying any decks or anything. Here, when all of these run out for the 5th card, then the game is ended. And it's also going to control how many actions the bot takes, which is what is changing when you go up to higher difficulty levels. So here, for the first 2 Stardate cards, the bot will resolve 2 cards each round, and then it'll start resolving 3 cards for the rest of the game. Finally, we've got the bot over here. They have the same tracks, and these I didn't really mention much for Picard, but basically some cards, their victory point value is going to be based on how far along these tracks have advanced, and also some special powers on cards are going to be dependent on what your track value is, so it's always good to raise these up. But very similar to Imperium, the bot has a card like this, and when you flip their cards based on the Stardate cards, so again, 2 to start, you're going to resolve the first thing that applies going from top to bottom. Now, these cards are double-sided. In Imperium, things switch when they go from barbarian to like a civilized civilization. Here, it's going to depend on whether they have a duty officer or not. For players and for the bot, they can turn some of the people that they recruit that they start with in their deck into a duty officer that gives them ongoing bonuses and powers. So for the bot, it's going to change what their actions are when that happens. But they've got their own deck. They start with some cards in the discard if the cards say so. By the way, I thought it would be a good matchup for Picard to go against Sela. Tasha Yar revived or cloned or got whatever that storyline was. I thought that was pretty dumb at the time. But yes, so they had some cards in the discard. They did start, just like me, with a ship that's supposed to be deployed. But for the bot, that's instead placed on top of their deck. Because once the card is out, it wouldn't do anything. So it needs to be drawn for them to actually resolve what its little ship power says. And for the bot, you take all of their development and reserve cards together and shuffle them together so they don't really differentiate between the two types of cards. And generally speaking, they are not going to ever pay attention to any text on the cards. They're just going to use the text of the actual ability up here. Okay, so that's enough to kind of get going. I'll explain more of the details as we go. If you've played Imperium or watched any of those videos, things will seem very second nature, but I'll still try to explain it in a way that even if you have not seen any of that, it still makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to have 3 actions on my turn. As I use these, I'm going to flip them over to the little exhausted side, and also usually they want you to put them on the card that costs the action. Some cards are going to not cost an action to resolve, but most of them do. And let's look at what I have. So I've got Jean-Luc Picard. He's got keywords human and Starfleet. These might be called for by other effects, but otherwise they don't mean anything. He's got, as I said, 5 away teams. After I gain an ally card, I can discard a card from my hand to gain 1 glory and beam the gained card to a ship. Beaming means basically you will lock it underneath of the card, actually like that. Its keywords still apply, but none of its effects do. And that's an important thing for a lot of Picard's missions. And then at the end of the game, I score 1 extra victory point for each of my ally cards. So it doesn't mean I have to go for allies, but certainly Picard likes that. And you'll see that a lot of his missions rely on that as well. I've also got the Enterprise D. It's already in play, but if I played it, I would deploy the ship, which means it actually has a little token here. These are standees, but I'm just going to leave them laying down. And then I could warp this ship or beam a card here. Warping it means moving it to one of those locations in the neutral zone to start to try controlling it. And then activation means you can do it once per turn. Doesn't cost an action in this case. I could spend 1 dilithium to warp the ship, again, moving it to a planet, location. I can discard a card to beam a card here, or I can activate it to promote a person from my hand to duty officer, which again is going to give me ongoing bonuses and stuff. By the way, the 3 resources in the game, you've got dilithium, mainly used, you saw, to move ships and that kind of stuff. You've got latinum bars like Quark loves, and you've got glory. And this is worth victory points, but also in a pinch, you can use this as 2 dilithium or as 1 latinum if needed. And let's look at half of Picard's starting deck. So we've got Will Riker, looking all swarmy like normal. So this says play as an action. That's what that icon there is. So I draw 2 cards from my discard pile. Then I can spend 1 dilithium to send an away team to a location. And if I target a controlled location, so one that I already have, I trigger that card's control operation. So it's kind of like I captured it again, because usually they have a one-time bonus when you control them. All the rest of his stuff, though, will only apply if he is my duty officer. So at the beginning of every turn during the resupply phase, I'll discard the top card of my deck, which, kind of fast forwards me going through my deck to get reserve cards, and I'll gain a latinum for doing that. And then once per turn, I can activate him to either free play a ship that has the Starfleet tag, or to draw a ship from my discard pile. So he's good to kind of fast track the whole controlling and ship-based strategies. I do have 1 incident, the new version of Unrest, that starts in my deck. It says play as an action, put a card on the top of your deck to return this card, and then I may promote a person from my staging area to duty officer. It is worth -2 victory points if it stays in my deck. And also the game immediately ends if all of the incidents are taken from the deck, and in the solo mode, that also immediately makes you lose. You have to go through the 5 Stardate cards to actually win. I've also got Farpoint Station from the first episode. It does have a blue icon here. That's going to be referred to by other cards that'll let me increase those victory point tracks by the amount of icons you see displayed on cards. So if I play this, I take control of it, which gets me 1 science immediately. And then I could use Riker's power to put an away team on it and get another science. That seems like probably a good first turn move. And then once per turn, I can activate it. If I have an away team here, I can draw a card. And if I have 3 or more total away teams on 1 or more controlled locations, it doesn't have to be this one, I can draw another card. So that's pretty cool. Okay, utilize is a directive. This is one of the generic cards that basically every captain has. So as an action, I can gain dilithium and more for every controlled location. Or I can, here we go. Here's the card I was talking about. I can gain 1/1 specialty track for each matching skill icon you have in play. Okay, so if I played Farpoint Station and then played this for its second action, I would get 1 blue in this case because I have 1 blue icon showing. Then set a course. I can discard up to 3 person cards to send the same number of away teams to the same location. So kind of like I'm beaming down an away team. Or I can play this. Look, it does not have an action. Very important, so that's free. To draw a card, then discard a card, and then warp up to 2 of your ships. So I can move my ships for free in that case. All right, cool. So I can kind of see how my turn might play out, but let's go ahead and do some stuff. So first of all, yeah, I think I do want to play Farpoint Station. So that'll be my first action. And I take control of it, so it goes into this little row. Generally speaking, locations do not go away unless you, log them. Logging is putting them underneath your captain, and they're kind of out of play. I forget what the equivalent action was called in Imperium. I immediately get 1 blue advancement. As you can imagine, Picard's cards tend to be more valuable if you get your blue and your yellow up because he likes to be friendly and scientific. Although he can get kind of aggressive. You'll see Worf in a second, for example. Now, what do I want to do next? I think I want to do Will Riker's thing. I can't draw 2 cards from my discard pile. If I play him, he won't be in my hand to promote to my duty officer. But at the moment, I don't need any of his activation stuff. The free Latinum would be nice, but I found Picard's deck tends to need a lot more dilithium than Latinum, at least for now, so I don't really necessarily need it. So yeah, I'm going to play him. Most cards you play do not go into the permanent hangout area. They go into your staging area where they'll be discarded at the end of the turn. Okay, so I would draw 2 cards from my discard pile. No, I may spend, and I will, my 1 dilithium to send an away team to a location. And if I target a controlled location, I can trigger that card's control operation. So I'm going to gain 1 science, which means now, at the end of the game, every card that had science as its victory point value would be worth 1 point to me, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. Although, very importantly, if you do not complete at least 1 of your missions, on the advanced side I have 3, if I do not at least complete 1 of them, then no cards are worth any amount of victory points from this track. So I should talk about missions, shouldn't I? Okay, so I need to have 3 allies on the same ship, and at least 2 of my research tracks at 4 or more. I need to have 3 Klingons on the same ship to show I'm acting as the Arbiter of Succession. That's when Gowron came into power. And then seek out new life. I need to have 6 or more different species cards, not counting human and Starfleet, in play. And alien and transcendent cards count as each a different one. And the green part is what the reward is. But again, I need to do at least 1 of these. So I want to be looking out for Klingons. I want to be looking out for allies in general. And a lot of allies will have this, but just people that I can have in play. So I'm seeking out new life, a new civilization. I had to say civilization 3 times on the recording there before I got it right. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of going for. Although at the moment, none of my cards literally can get me anything. You'll see the cards that let me actually buy new cards in a second. All right, but before I do anything else, I do want to use Farpoint Station because I have an away team here. I can activate it and draw a card. Oh, never mind. Now I do have something. Recruit. Put a card on top of your deck to gain a person, or take an incident to gain an ally. Incidents are these gum up your deck kind of negative cards. So I've got a lot of options now. I could recruit. I could warp my ship for free, although I could just spend some stuff to warp it. I could play Utilize to get, at this point, 3 dilithium because of my 1 controlled location. That'd be pretty good. Oh, wait, I forgot. I can use Set a Course. Yeah, let's use Set a Course for free. So I'm going to draw a card, then discard a card, then warp up to 2 of my ships. Going through my deck is usually a good thing. So I get Analyze. I'll discard Red Alert. Put the little discard pile over here, because clearly I don't care about that right now. So what is Analyze? I can take an incident to gain a ship. I can discard 2 cards to gain a cargo, or I can just get 2 dilithium for free. Okay, so I have the ability at this point to get person, ship, cargo, or ally. Let's see if any of them are particularly good for me in my deck. Here, I'll zoom in a bit. So the person, is this from Star Trek Below Decks or something? It has a cartoony style. I have not watched that show. I haven't watched any of the Paramount Plus ones. Okay, so Peanut Hamper. He's a synthetic, which I guess would count as a different species, so that's cool. I'm thinking for Picard Seek Out New Life thing. So I can spend dilithium to scan, and scanning is getting a cargo, but you get to look at the top of the deck, and you can sort of decide which card you want. Playing, I get a whole bunch of dilithium, and I can make him a duty officer, and he just gets me a glory every turn? Dang, that's pretty good. It's only worth 1 victory point, though. If I'm attacked, he gets put on the top of my deck, which is kind of negative. After putting a shady card, I don't think I have any of those into play. Put this card on top of your deck and gain a Latinum. I've got the Lerpa Cargo, which is a weapon, a Vulcan weapon. I can attack, force your opponent to dismiss 1 of their duty officers. If they do, they may draw a card. You may put a card on the top of your deck to gain 1 glory. Draw a card for each Vulcan you have in play. I don't have any Vulcans to start. Now here's a Klingon card. Remember, I need to have says have 3 Klingon on the same ship. So I think this would count as a Klingon unto itself. So if I got Worf on that ship and then got 1 other Klingon person, I could do Arbiter of Succession. Now, this is worth victory points based on red, and it can get me red, which again is not necessarily what I'm going for. When I play it, I deploy the ship. Ooh, I can send an away mission to a location immediately, and then I can warp it for a dilithium or discard a card to beam a card here. Yeah, I mean, that's maybe good for me. And then how about the ally? We always want allies. It does have a transcendent, and every transcendent for Seek Out New Life counts as a different species. If I play it and have at least 4 science, which I'm already halfway to, I can enlist a reserve. Wow, which means just take one of those reserve cards I would usually have to go through my whole deck for. I like that. And then, for 6 science, I can enlist a development and then log this card. So that means that you only get to do that to power 1s. And it's worth 3 victory points, and every ally is worth 1. Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe I should do that. Although they're not going to be any good for at least a few more rounds. Okay, so what were my powers? I can take an incident to gain a ship, or take an incident to gain an ally. Put a card on top of my deck to gain a person, but again, I don't want the person. I don't really want the cargo either. So it's really ship or ally, and both make me take an incident, which kind of sucks. And the one that's going to be more immediately useful, honestly, I think, is having another ship so I can control some locations faster. But of course, allies are Picard's specialty. Now, I will note, in terms of the AI, they're going to tend to want the cards that are worth the most victory points. So they would go for the ally first and wouldn't care that much about the battle cruiser because their red value is not very high yet, which maybe pushes me towards getting the ally. All right, so sure. Oh, by the way, I got to warp the Enterprise D. Let's decide which location I want to go to. Okay, so, we got Alien, Ancient Realize Station. That seems like definitely the one I want to go to because Seek Out New Life needs to have 6 or more different species in play. And if I play an ally, it's only in play for a moment. What I really would need to do is beam it to my ship and kind of lock it there for a while. But the location could just stay out. What's this do, though? You may put a card on the top of your deck and then spend an action to enlist a development. Oh, that's very cool. And that would fast track me. I would get the development before I even went through all my reserve cards. This one gets me an action, though. Wow. And then with Riker's ability to resolve the control effect again, well, I guess for both of those would be really good. Whereas this one has no control. Yeah, so that one's got both icons I want. But yeah, I think I'm going to start trying to get the Ancient Relay Station. So if I can get like another ship there or 2 away teams there, then I'll be good to go. That warping came from the second part of Set a Course. Okay, and then, yes, I am going to, unfortunately, take an incident to gain an ally. The keyword take means it goes straight into your hand, although I'll be able to discard it in a second. And then when you gain a card, you can always take the top card of the deck or the showing card. If you take the card that's in the market, you'll replace it. And that's where the big difference is with scanning. Like the Peanut Hamper said, spend 2 dilithium to scan 1 cargo. That means you get to look at whatever the scan value is, that many cards from the top of the deck, and be like, do I actually want these or not? And then decide if you're going to take this or one of those. Okay, but I will get the Organians. And let's go ahead and use Picard's reaction. It says after gaining an ally, discard a card. I'll discard my other incident to gain 1 glory. And all glory you gain comes from the Stardate deck. So I basically just cut a round from the game by doing that. And I can beam the gained card to a ship. You know what? For now, I don't actually have the science to make these people do anything. So sure, I'll go ahead and beam them to the Enterprise D. Actually, you know what? Instead of discarding the incident, I'm going to do that because I haven't activated my Enterprise D yet. And I think I'm going to beam my incident to it. Oh, sorry, these should be above, not below, because only the above stuff applies. Just because I don't want to deal with redrawing it for right now. Whenever you finish controlling a planet, all your ship cards that were involved in that planet's control, as well as anything beamed underneath them, gets discarded. So I will eventually be able to deal with that incident later. And I do have gain 2 dilithium for free, not an action, so I'll definitely do that. By the way, small detail I forgot to say, when you resolve a reaction operation, you still exhaust the card. So Picard could not use his little ally power more than once per round. All right, so we go to the cleanup step. And usually the only thing that's going to happen is I'm going to put 1 glory token on a card of my choice. The Kelpians, are worth victory points based on my science. And the Katinga is based on red. Now, unfortunately, whichever one I put on this, Sella's kind of likely to get. But I don't want to make the Lerpa even better because they like weapons too. Let's put it on the Peanut Hamper that I don't want. And then hopefully she won't take the cards that I'm more interested in. Okay, now for cleanup, I discard everything that's not actively in play. Get my action tokens back. Then I draw it to my hand size. I already am going to get my first reserve card. And what happens is I take this, I shuffle the rest of my deck, and this goes on top. And let's see, okay, I'm allowed to look at what it is. It's a Type 7 shuttlecraft. Another ship. And it's going to let me get away teams out faster. That'll be nice. All right, so I've got Diplomacy, Wharf, Strange New Worlds, my Type 7 Shuttlecraft, and Utilize again. We'll get to those in a second. Oh, and then everything does refresh to be activated again next time. Okay, now we go to the bot turn. They have no resupply step because they don't pay attention to powers that say resupply anyway. Resupplies like if I'd had Riker as my duty officer, I would have gotten a free Latinum every turn. Then, just like a player, they'll control a location if they have at least 3 things there and at least 2 more than the other player. No, that's happening though, so we're just doing their 2 action cards. So 1, 2, and then you're going to flip and resolve one at a time. That's pretty much their entire turn, except for cleanup. So let's see. We got the ship that they knew they were going to do, and we just find the first thing that applies. So not incident, but ship. Yes, okay, they're going to get 1 red track. Then they're going to deploy this ship. So here, I guess I should have things kind of in a controlled area. There we go. Here, we'll do like that. And then it says this ship explores. And how exploring works, they have 2 keywords. Exploring means they try to go to the location with the fewest tokens on it. And they break ties by the thing that is worth the most to them. Oh god, that one's worth 5? Maybe I should have gone for that one. Oh well. So they're going to start working on that, although I could try to get some people there to intercept them. Though importantly, when one player has more ships at a location than another, the other player cannot put away teams down there except by like a few special effects and powers. So they kind of have this planet blockaded and we can't teleport down to it. All right, that sucks. Okay, and their second action is a location. So let's see, ship, ally, cargo, person, directive, encounter. Oh, it's the last one. So the location says log the top card of the bot deck. So this is gone forever. We don't even care what it is. Then it says gain a person and promote it to be duty officer. Now, importantly, for locations, after they resolve them, they control them. The card doesn't say that. It's just like an automatic thing. So they're not going to like keep on resolving that same location over and over. Okay, so log the top card of the bot deck. I did that. Gain a person, promoted to duty officer, which means they will indeed take Peanut Hamper. And yeah, they become their duty officer. I guess I should like kind of differentiate. We'll put it right next to the captain. They get a glory, which is the main resource they'll get. Pretty much they only get Latinum and Dilithium if I send it to them. And now next turn, since they have a duty officer, they will be on suits with duty officer as their actions for the next 2 cards they resolve. And for their cleanup, they're going to put out a glory, and they put on the card that is least valuable to me. So at the moment, that's worth 1, that's worth 2. That's actually technically worth 0 to me right now because red cards are worth 0, and that's worth 1. And when there's ties, first they break it by making it more valuable if it has more tokens on it, and then by leftmost. But here they want to find the least valuable card, so it's actually the Katinga. Hey, I don't mind that. And it gets a glory on it. And yeah, it's 1 round for the bot. Pretty quick. Okay, my turn. Let's see. I don't have any resupply powers. So what are the new cards I've got? Strange New Worlds is a big one. This is I forget what the card was called. I haven't played Imperium in a while, y'all. But the one that like would let you do a whole bunch of stuff to get one of those like big glory cards. So for an action, I can play it. I select a controlled location. If there's at least 1 away team and 1 ship there, look at the top 2 encounters, take one of them, return the other to the bottom of the deck, but then log the selected location to gain 1 science. So I could like move my ship to Farpoint Station, although right now it's giving me card draw every turn, so I don't really want to do that yet. And that would be a good way to get me more of these encounter cards with a ton of victory points. Diplomacy says spend 1 dilithium to draw 2 cards and discard one of them. Ooh, and gain 1 yellow. That's fantastic. Or I can gain an ally and log this card. But you can see that's a very powerful card, and it kind of cycles through my deck naturally, so I don't think I want to do that yet unless the ally is perfect. Hey, here's Worf. So he's got a ton of things, including Klingon, which we know is going to be important for Seek Out New Life and Arbiter of Succession. So it says play as an action, take an incursion, and discard it. So it still gives me an incursion, but at least it goes away. Discard the top card of my deck, and then send 2 away teams to a neutral location. So I could set it up so that I take control of the place where the Enterprise D is in just a moment. Or I can attack if he is my duty officer, which again, the Enterprise D power could make happen. It says activate, discard a card to remove an opponent's away team from a location where you have an away team and then gain a glory. So we can just kind of shoot their dudes. And then I didn't show you type 7. Yeah, you already saw the rest. Utilize, which one was that? Gaining dilithium or advancing my specialty tracks. Okay. And my first reserve card, for an action, send an away team to a location where you have a ship. You may put this card on top of your deck, or not as an action, gain 1 dilithium. Then you may either beam a card to a ship or recall a card beamed to a ship. Recall means it comes back into my hand. Pretty cool. So let's say I got 2 ways to get 2 more away teams to that planet. I could play the Type 7 shuttlecraft, put it on top of my deck, use Farpoint Station to draw a card, play it again. That'd be 2 of my 3 actions, though. Or I can just play Worf, but I get an incident. Well, let's see what other cards I have first. So let's go ahead and play Diplomacy. I'm going to spend one of my 2 dilithium, draw 2 cards, and discard 1. Ooh, I got Will Riker again. That's not bad. Although I have no discard pile at the moment, but still. And then Analyze gets me 2 dilithium for free. Darn it. I could also get the Klingon ship that has a glory on it. Darn it, so many things I want to do. I think I'm going to discard Riker. I want to be able to get the free dilithium, I think. I don't really want to get more incidents yet, because I'm going to probably get an incident from Worf too. So yeah, let's play that just to get the dilithium. Oh, wait, am I going to even have 3 actions to play here? Oh, I didn't draw a card with Farpoint Station yet. Let's do that real quick. See what else we get. Ooh, Recruit. I didn't look at the new person yet. She's a Romulan, which could help me with Seek Out New Life. Play, spend 1 to gain a science or an attack. And then if I have an android in play, draw 2 cards. I know Data is coming in my reserve pile, so that's pretty good. If she's my duty officer, she can duplicate a resupply operation you have already resolved this turn. Well, it's not happening yet. And then if she's duty officer, I can spend 2 dilithium or 1 latinum to refresh a captain, cargo ship, or location. Ooh, and use it twice. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, she's interesting. Definitely the best part of her is that she'll combo well with Data later and help me get a lot of science quickly. So yeah, I think I might do that. But let's go ahead and spend my first actual action to have Worf take an incident and discard it, so it won't be in my hand, and then discard the top card in my deck and get 2 away teams out. Set of course is discarded, and I do have to get rid of some of these incidents because the deck is getting a little small. But that'll get 2 away teams here, so I will take that, unless I guess Sela gets 2 things there to stop me in a second. She doesn't even have another ship, so that's not going to happen. All right, I'll do the Type 7 shuttlecraft. I'll gain a dilithium for free, and then I can beam a card to a ship or recall a card beamed to a ship before. I don't think I'm trying to do Strange New World yet, so I'll go ahead and beam that, the Enterprise D, just to kind of go through my deck faster. Although, Utilize isn't really that useful to me. I don't need that much dilithium yet, and I don't really have enough icons to make going up on the specialty track that great. So maybe instead of beaming Strange New Worlds to this, maybe I'll recall the political crisis, and then I can get rid of that. Okay, so let's do my second action to recruit. Let's put a card on top of my deck. I don't know. None of these are really great. I'll put Utilize on top. And I will go in and take Laris. I could take an incident to get an ally. Now, I could also take the top of the deck, but she does seem pretty decent to me. And then I could put her on top of my deck or my discard. I think I'm going to put her on my discard. I just want to get to more reserves. I want to get to Data to combo with her. And I also know that Dr. Crusher is coming in my deck, and she'll give me a really nice way to get rid of incident cards. But hey, speaking of, let's do this last one. Discard a card to return this card. If the discarded card has yellow, I would get a Latinum. Or if I had an ambassador in play, none of those apply. So I'm just returning this to the incident deck. It goes to the bottom of it. I have to discard that to do it. USS Enterprise D's powers don't matter at all right now. I didn't get to use Picard's ally bonus, so yeah, that's about it. And yep, I'm doing another reserve. And yes, okay, cool, it's Data. We'll see him in a second because he'll be on top of the deck. I might get him into play to trigger with my ally. Oh, and actually I got her and a ton of incidents, so yeah, I guess I'll be doing something. All right, what do I want to do with the Glory? I don't necessarily want them to take the Katinga, so I think I might... Well, that's an attack card, which will be annoying. Well, here, right now that's worth 1 to them plus 1, so if I put a Glory on Zephyrin Cockrum, I think they're more likely to take that than the other one. Although, I mean, it all depends on what cards they draw, right? So who knows what'll happen. All right, going to Stella's turn. By the way, the first Stardate card is almost done. The first ones tend to go pretty quickly. So she's doing 2 cards. First one is... Oh, she does have another ship. That's right. I should have remembered that she's the captain with the most ships to start compared to all the rest. All right, so she's going to... Oh, that's right. She has a duty officer this time, so it's going to be a little different. So she will deploy the ship, engage it... Show you that in a second. Oh, and then send an away team to a neutral location. Crud, I think she is going to fight me for the relay station. So engage means it goes to the place with the most of my tokens. Boom. And then she cannot send an away team. She has to follow the rules to a place where I have more ships. That doesn't apply. And she wants a place with the most of her tokens, which in this case is tied, and then most valuable, which in this case is actually still going to be Indri 8. So that's okay. Now, what will happen is when I resolve this one, for every token she has there, she'll get a glory. So you get a consolation prize for being somewhere that gets controlled by the other player. All right. And then Remus. Oh, so she's going to control this again. And let's see. I need to check. Oh, it has an attack. Oh, but she doesn't have... Oh, I thought she'd attacked a lot. Maybe she doesn't attack at all. She has attack and Reman. Yeah, none of which apply. So it's going to just be the location. All right, so that gets controlled. I guess I can just kind of stack them because it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, if able, gain a shady. Nope, there's no shadies. Otherwise, dismiss the duty officer. So they will do this pretty often where they'll discard. Ooh, that's not their discard. That's their discard. Where they'll discard a card. So this will flip in a second. And they gain a person, cargo, ally, and then I have to discard a card. That's annoying. So it said person, cargo, or ally, and they go for the most valuable one to them, which is, as we already said, going to be Zephyrin Cochrane. And when they gain cards, it goes to the discard pile. Did I do that before? Oh, no, I guess the other one, they were just putting it straight to their duty officer. And here comes out another Romulan. Okay. Okay, and then I have to discard a card. I got 2 incidents. I can promote a person to a duty officer. And then that one I'm not going to be able to benefit from. So yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. I'll just discard Red Alert. Okay, and now they're going to finish up this card. Where do they want to put this? Least valuable for me. So that's a 1. That's a 0 plus 1, but that'll break the tie. That's currently a 1. So yeah, it's going to be on Admiral Jarok. And then because this card is finished up, it goes to my pile. And during the next cleanup phase, at the end of my turn, I'm going to wipe the market. So all these cards will go away, even if they have tokens on them. And then we put 7 tokens on the next card. They all have, well, actually, they go down to 6 and 5. So yeah, it's going to be a little while before they get to 3 actions a turn. We don't really want to fast track this one necessarily. All right, so now we have the resupply phase. Nothing happening there. All right, and then we do control, and I am above them by 2 tokens at the Ancient Relay Station. All my away teams go back to my captain. Both of our ships get discarded, including any cards beamed to them, and I take control of this and get to resolve its control power. And I deal out a new location, Risa. And she got another glory, all right. All right, so when I control it, I can put a card on top of my deck and spend an action. Gosh, this is expensive. To enlist a development, though, pretty dang good. I still have to pay for the card, but I mean, I definitely want to do it, right? What should I put on? God, I only have... Let's put... Well, I'm about to draw all of them with Laris and stuff anyway, so let's put just the incident on top of my deck. And again, usually to get a development, I'd have to go through 2 more reserve cards, but oh man, this is going to be a hard choice. So the Daystrom Institute combos with other synthetics. It lets me like get data and play more often and get glory pretty consistently. Then I get extra points for synthetics, and I can afford it. Starbase 74 lets me free play a person, and I can have 2 people on duty. That's kind of crazy. Although I don't have like that many duty powers I need yet. Phasing Cloak will let me compete over the planets more. USS Bozeman I can't afford without spending glory. The Temerians would be another alien for my objectives and stuff. Make it so as a free play to return incidents really easily. That's kind of its best thing. It also lets me, once per game, grab a planet that I've just gained control of before waiting around. Geordie will let me get ships out a lot more quickly. And it's a free play as well. That's really good, too. And then Deanna Troy is an amazing duty officer. She just lets me kind of get rid of incidents like Candy. Because if I understand it correctly, it takes away the requirement to use an action. I just get to discard a card and draw 2 cards. It's kind of insane. I'm kind of between these 3. I guess Make It So and Deanna both kind of... I'll get Deanna Troy for 2. So she goes on top of my deck. All right, and that's it for Ancient Relay Station. I'm going to play Data for an action. I can increase my science or my... Well, I can increase any of my things. Okay, sorry, I didn't say what he does. He increases my tracks when I play him. Or if he's my bridge officer, my duty officer, I can log a card from my hand and then gain one of the tracks for every 5 cards in my log. So not very good until... I have like a lot of trash cards and I can start logging them quickly. Okay, for now, I think I want to actually start getting yellow up because blue I'm going to get up from her right now. So let's do that now. I play her for free and spend 1 to gain. I'm going to get a blue, so it's at 3 now. And then if I have an android, I draw 2 cards. I got Deanna and the incident. We knew that was going to happen. Now, unfortunately, I have no way to put a duty officer into play to like get Deanna there. But I can use Far Point Station to draw a card. Okay, got a lot of things for my last action. Oh yeah, I can use Deanna to draw a card, then either keep it or discard it to get a glory or log it. Let's see what we get. That was a free action, by the way. Analyze. Could gain 2 dilithium, but I mean, getting a whole victory point seems pretty dang good. So yeah, I'll discard it to gain a victory point. So then, I feel like I have ways to get rid of incidents now, so I don't have to worry about it yet. So do I want to use Utilize or Recruit? I kind of think I should get some more allies. And now with Deanna, I think I'm going to have an easier way getting rid of incidents. So sure, let's go ahead and recruit for my final action. Take an incident to get an ally. Incident deck. Oh, it's 5. We're fine. And take means it goes into my hand. Now, do I want this ally? It's could be worth blue, which means by the end of the game it could be a 3 or 4 or 5. I don't have any Kelpians. It has the power to get incidents from my hand or discard pile. Or I could take a chance and draw the... I mean, this one seems fine. Sure, I'll get them. Now, let's see. After gaining an ally, I can discard a card to gain 1 more glory. And I may beam the gain card to a ship. Well, I don't have any. I'll discard, I don't know, one of the incidents. Although I am fast-tracking the card that makes the AI take fewer turns, so all this might be a terrible idea. Do I want to draw these guys yet? I mean, I do have a lot of incidents, but I also kind of want to like get them on a ship to resolve peace negotiations, because I already have 2 allies I can get onto a ship. I just need 1 more. So yeah, for now I'm going to discard them, because I don't have a ship to put them on yet. They'll be in the same area as my ship that's coming back. And I am low on dilithium, so should I keep utilize in my hand? I'll discard the incident either way, but yeah, I'm not going to go through my deck yet. I guess it's okay. All right, so I'll just keep utilized to maybe use to get dilithium next turn, and then keep the rest of these. And now we do get another ally. Let's see what I could have gotten. Oh, time-traveling aliens. That probably would have actually been good. But anyway, so now we wipe the market. So all this is gone, including the glory tokens on them. And that's that. Can we get Admiral Lady? Oh, the Binars. I remember them. Bird of Prey and Phasers. And it takes us back to Sella. She's still doing 2 cards. Oh, she is not with the duty officer anymore. First, we got a person. He's Romulan. Ops. None of those apply. Okay, she's gaining another red. She would gain a Vulcan and then a Klingon. There are none. Otherwise, dismiss a ship. She doesn't have any. Actually, yeah, she does. She can dismiss the Goraxis. But she still has an away team on that one planet, so it'd still be tough for me to catch up to her. And then she's going to gain a person or a ship. Okay. Oh, and then he becomes duty officer, so for their next card, they will have the other side. Okay, they gain a person or a ship. That's worth 0. Oh, no, 1 of them currently, and that's worth 2. So yeah, they'll just gain the ship. And I got a Zindi battleship. Okay. Don't remember that one. And what else have we got? We've got a weapon, Romulan, attack, cargo. I guess cargo is going to be... They don't really seem to care about any of this stuff. They just care about that. Resolve the top card of the supplement deck, and then log duty officer and log this card. So both of these guys get logged. And they're playing the top card of the supplement deck. This is their reserves and developments. And it's another ship, the Scimitar. All right, so they deploy it. There we go. And then it engages, and then they send an away team to a neutral. Okay, so the same thing as before. And sorry, they actually engage with the place that has the most of my tokens, so here it doesn't matter. But if tied, it's most valuable, so yeah, they're going to go there, and then obviously they're going to put the away team there too. Okay, so they will grab that next turn. The best I could do would be get something there for a glory, which I don't think I really care about. And they are about to go through their deck to get another free supplement card, but not quite yet. Okay, they're putting out a glory. Least valuable for me. That's a 0. That's also a 0. So yeah, they're going to put it on her since it's leftmost. All right. Back to me. Let's go ahead and draw a card, because I don't necessarily love my hand. Okay, there's Wharf. I don't have any ships, though. Yeah, so I can't use a shuttlecraft for much except to gain a single dilithium. I guess that's okay. I clearly need to recruit some ships. And yeah, I got rid of the card that lets me do that, didn't I? Whoops. Let's see. Let's use diplomacy to draw 2 cards. Oh, I'm going to actually get this one in my next reserve card. Discard 1 and gain a yellow. So I will use my last dilithium for that. And I've got, first contact. Nice. That's for my reserve. And I got Riker. Okay. So then I got to discard 1 of them. So first contact, I play as an action. I get to scan 2 allies, look at the top 2 cards of the deck, and then pick which ally I want. And then log the card. Still don't have a ship, though. Oh, that's right. Can't Riker if he's my duty officer. I can free play a ship with Starfleet if he's duty officer, or draw a ship from a discard pile, but it's not there yet. Yeah, I don't have any way to get anybody my duty officer right now. I think I'll actually discard Riker again. I feel like that's a dumb idea, though. Well, sure. Let's go ahead and play first contact. Why not? So that's my first actual action. That's going to get logged, and I scan 2 allies, and then I pick which one I want. So I can take the Binars or one of the top 2 cards. The Bolians. Well, let's just look at all of them. Okay, the Tholians, and that's alien engineer. Oh, nothing. That's weird. Okay, Tholians. For an action, I may draw a card. Then I gain 1 and 2 for each controlled location. Okay, and then it gets logged. The Binars, I can play it to gain a cargo card and log it, or play it and requires 3 science. I have that to scan 3 of cargo and log it. All right. And the Bolians, I can play it to gain a yellow, to then draw a card, then I may free play the drawn card. Oh, interesting. So it's the only one that doesn't get logged, which means it would be easier to keep this around until I'm ready to complete my mission. Whereas these dudes are aliens, which would make it easier to complete Seek Out New Life. Not that I need to, but it's usually good if I do. I think I like the Tholians best out of all of these. And I think these guys go to the back when you scan them. So I'll gain them, and I'll get a glory with Picard's ability. And then I think I'm going to discard them because, again, I want to put them on my ship before I actually play them and log them. We got 2 actions left. I could take another incident with Worf. Well, let's do the shuttlecraft for free and just get a dilithium. Oh, I forgot to set a course. It could let me draw a card and then discard a card. Strange New World says, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I don't think I'm going to do the other ability on it. So I'm going to draw a card and then discard a card. I don't need Strange New Worlds right now because I don't have a ship. This one lets me get a person or an ally. I don't need more allies anymore necessarily. Could get the person. Is she any good for me? Play, you may warp a ship. You may free play a directive from your hand or your discard pile up to 3 times beam a card to a ship. It's pretty dang good. She would help me fast track my missions. And then if she's my duty officer, draw a card for each ops you have in play. I don't think I have anything. Spend 1 to warp any number of your ships. Yeah, it'd be better if I had a lot of ships. I do kind of like her. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'll save Worf. Well, I could still play Worf, couldn't I? So I will go ahead and recruit her. I have to put a card on top of my deck, which I guess could be Worf once I get a ship. Then I can also use him to control a planet. Okay, so I gain her and the glory. But I think I don't know if I want to put her on top or not because I don't know if my ship is coming. I'm going to discard her for now because I don't know if she'll be useful. And then I guess I only have this to do an action with, so I can get, it'd be 5 dilithium. That's pretty dang good. Yeah, or 2 blue track advancement. Now let's go for the 5 dilithium. That's 1 plus 2 for each control location, by the way. All right. So yeah, that's going to wrap things up for another turn. I need to get more ships. I feel dumb for not having bought at least 1 more card or gotten a ship with the development I could have done. Clearly, I need to fix that ASAP. What should I put the token on? This cruddy person seems pretty innocuous. All right, and they're still doing 2 cards, and they do not have a duty officer again. They got logged. So they do 1 card, and they take the top of their supplement, shuffle the rest of their discard, and the supplement will be their second card. So first, they got a directive. Okay, discard the top 3 cards of the bot's deck, so fast tracking. Then they're getting 2 blue, yellow, red, whichever is lower. I assume that those are individually resolved, so it'll be like that and that. Okay, and their new card is, hey, it's Tamalek. And he's clearly a person, so they gain 1 more red. And if able, they gain a Vulcan or a Klingon. Nope, still don't have that. And they can't dismiss a ship, so they're going to gain a cargo, and that guy becomes duty officer for next round. So they get the phasers worth 2. Okay. Ooh, plasma manifold's pretty nice, although victory point-wise, not for me, but spend 3 dilithium to get an action. Oh, and they finish off the card, which is good, though, because I'll get a whole turn before they start getting 3 actions. What do I want to put it on? That's worth 0 to me, and so is that. So, yeah, they're going to go there. So this does go into my area, but there's nothing to resolve, so I can just discard it now. Nothing's going to happen. And then we'll go up to 3 cards for the rest of the game, and they get 7 glory on here. I definitely don't feel like I'm doing that great in terms of combos and victory points. This is only the 4th time I played the game, so yeah. All right, cool. I got the Data Laris combo. I got Deanna Troy. I don't want to play the Kelpians. I just don't have my friggin' ship. Let's draw some cards. So I'll do Farpoint Station to draw a card. Great. I'll do Data for my first action. I'll increase yellow. And then with that, I'll play her for free. I'll spend 1 of my dilithium. I'll get a blue. So I'm up to 4 now. And then because I have an android, I draw 2 cards. No, thank you. Okay, cool. So I can finally get my ship going. So I definitely want to play this so I can start putting those allies on it. So I can deploy the ship and then warp this ship or beam a card. I have 2 things I want to beam. And yeah, I don't have to deploy it yet. So let's go ahead and beam my first ally there. And then let's activate it and discard, I guess, the incident to beam another person there. Ooh, how am I doing on Seek Out New Life? 6 different species, not counting humans or Starfleet. So I've got, I guess Data doesn't count? Yeah, excluding cards with human or Starfleet. Crud. So I've got Romulan, Kelpian, Transcendent, Alien, crud. And Deanna's half human, so it wouldn't work. Crud, man, I'm almost there. If I'd played Worf, I would just need 1 more thing if Data had counted. That's okay, that's okay. Ooh, I could play Deanna to draw another card, and let's see. Nope, it's a red alert. I guess I'll discard it to get a glory. By the way, I have 2 out of 3 allies on the same ship. And, I do need to get my yellow up 2 more to be able to do peace negotiations, get 5 victory points, and get the bonus for playing it. But for now, I guess I'll do Worf. So I discard the top card of my deck, analyze. I take and discard an incident. I do need to deal with those at some point, and I get to put 2 away teams on a neutral location. Can't go there because they got a ship, so it's Delta Vega or Risa. I think it's going to be Risa, right? It's worth more victory points. It's got a yellow that I want, so yeah. All right, that'll be that. I'm going to get my last reserve card, which is, there she is, Beverly Crusher, so she's going to help me get rid of my incidents as well. What am I pointing up? Reds are almost worth 3 to them, so I guess Harry Mudd. So before they do anything, they're going to control the location, so their ship gets discarded. And they resolve this. If able, gate a shady. Oh, crud. Harry Mudd is a shady, and I just gave them extra victory points for him. Should have paid attention to that. Okay, none of the other stuff happens. Okay, so they got that. Okay, now they start resolving their 3 cards. Oh, there's a ship, and they're going to engage and then send an away team. Oh, crud. Engage means they're going to Risa, so I got to get my ship there to oppose them. And they'll also send the away team there, so, man. Okay, next is an ally. I don't think they've done an ally before. The Remans. Weren't they the ones from Nemesis? Just got the top 2 cards of the bot deck. Wow, they're already going to do their thing again. Take an incident. Yay, they finally took an incident. Oh, and take means, I think for them, does take mean to go straight into their hand? No, it goes on top of the bot deck. Okay. And they gain 2 again, whichever is lower. So boop, boop. Then I take an incident. Oh my gosh, there's only 1 incident left. Y'all could get an auto loss. No! Okay, they dismiss the duty officer and they log the ally. So their allies only get used once as well. That makes sense. Okay, they have 1 more card, a person. So they gain 1 red. We've seen this one before. There's no Vulcan Klingon still. Nope. Okay, then they dismiss. Oh, they dismiss the ship. Well, that's cool. Now I'll be able to beat them more easily. And they gain a person or ship, and then they promote this. Person and ship are equal, so they'll go for the person. That was the guy in the Pegasus episode, right? And they're going to put out Glory. That's worth 1. That's worth 1. That's worth 0. Oh, cool. I want to get a ship, even if it's not great for me. Well, I guess Zindi is a species I don't have at least, so that'd be helpful. Alrighty. What do I want to do here? Well, let's draw with Farpoint first. Love that ability. Okay, I got the Strange New Worlds directive. I got the Recruit directive. That's right. She's going to let me free play directive. I don't have data to go with Laris. Beverly. Oh, can return an incident from my discard pile. Do I have anything that's going to let me get one of these in my discard pile? I just realized if I put the Enterprise D onto like the planet to control it, then I can't finish my mission. I still haven't drawn my next ally. Well, let's do this. So that'll be one of my actions. So I may warp a ship, but I'm not going to send it to... Actually, I could send it to Farpoint Station, couldn't I, to do the Strange New Worlds? Or maybe I'll send it to the Ancient Relay Station since I don't really need that anymore. And then I may free play a directive, which means it doesn't cost an action. So I'll do Recruit. Put a card on top of my deck to gain a person. I don't know. Because I do have a Klingon there. I'll get him over there, though. Then I can up to 3 times beam a card to a ship. That part's not too great, is it? Yeah, let's just not. I guess I'll free play her and spend a dilithium to increase my blue track again. It's at 5. Then I got 2 actions left. I mean, Beverly's a super good one. Look, every time I take an incident, I can discard a different card to return the incident immediately and gain a glory. So yeah, I think I'm going to exhaust the Enterprise to finally get a duty officer. Probably an idiot for not having done that earlier. And then for my last 2 actions, sorry, exhausted. There you go. For my last 2 actions, I'm going to get rid of both of these. So I have to spend a dilithium for that one. I can't refresh a ship. Oh, put a card on top of my deck to return this card. Oh, but then I may put a person from my staging area to my duty officer. Hold on. Let's say I still have her and I didn't exhaust this. So I'm going to play this as an action. Put a card on top of my deck. That'll sadly be that one. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll have played her first. That'll get me to 6 science. I don't have an incident to return. But then I'll put her into my staging as a duty officer, and that goes back. So there's 2 cards in the deck, and I'm not about to auto lose. And then, I guess I'm not going to do anything else with my Enterprise. Now, what's the worst for my opponent? I mean, they don't take allies very often, but yeah, these are much better. So I'm going to put it on that guy. All right, and they're doing 3 cards, which means they're getting another special card since they had to shuffle. And they got a duty officer. Let's see. Oh, an incident. They log the top card of the bot deck. Okay. They gain a red. So now that each of their cards is worth 3 that has that red requirement. They send a thing to the neutral location. And then I may draw a card. Oh, that's cool. I guess to account for them having a negative thing. And it gets returned. Yay. So the pile is smaller again, or bigger. Okay. Number 2 is the cargo they got. Oh, no. This is from their special deck, I think. Okay. Resolve the top card of the supplement deck. Log the duty officer. Log this card. Yep. And it's a directive. Oh, no. This is back over. Okay, directive. Discard the top 3 cards of the bot to deck, and then gain 2 on their tracks. So once again, that'll be a little bit of each. They're both almost to 3, although I don't know if they have any cards that are worth that yet. Okay, and then finally, they're going to play a ship, so they gain 1, and the ship explores instead of engaging. So it goes to place with the fewest and then worth the most victory points. All right, so I still would get this place if I ever get another ship here, which I don't want to do yet. All right, where do they want to put the token? That's worth 2 to me. That's worth 1 to me. Yeah, the reds. Yeah, so it's still going to be a red. Okay. All right, back to me. Still waiting to get this useful. Oh, my God. Look at all the incidents I drew. Wait, why do I have 6 cards? Oh, that's right, because they gave me a card draw. All right, so let's go ahead and get another one. Oh, it's Riker. Ooh, I can get 2 cards from my discard pile. And I know I want the friggin' ship. So let's go ahead and play this. Take an incident to gain a ship, but after taking an incident, discard a different card to return the incident and gain a glory. I don't need all these. Let's get rid of one of those. And should I get? I mean, it's got a glory, but actually this ship is kind of crud otherwise. Let's dig for the top one. Pack-led freighter. Okay. And I think I want it on top of my deck because first of all, it'll help me get more aliens in play. And yeah, also I just need more ships. And then I think I'll play Riker. So I draw 2 cards from my discard pile. I mean, she's a free nice thing. And then this guy can get me a Klingon or Starfleet card, so I could get like another ship if I wanted. Or I could get her and then free play the directive. That seems pretty good. Yeah, maybe I'll get that. Well, no, let's get another Klingon, because that'll get me closer to Arbiter of Succession, right? So never mind, I am going to get that dude. Okay, then I can spend a dilithium to send, an away team to a location. So I can be ready to capture Risa even without putting my ship in danger. That's great. And then was that it? Oh, I could have triggered the control. Ooh, if I'd gone to Ancient Relay Station, I could use my last action. But no, I want to use the action for that guy. Okay, so I'm going to use her, spend another dilithium to raise my blue up to ×2. And then, yeah, I think I'll play him. Oh, that's my last 2 dilithium, though. I gain a red. Yay. And I may scan for Klingon or Starfleet. I'm going to scan for a Klingon ship, which means I just go through here until I get the first Klingon. Theoretically, there's at least one left, or maybe not. Oh, wait, is it Klingon or Starfleet? It says scan for either a Klingon or a Starfleet, so I think I get to pick instead of having to stop when... Oh, wait, is there no Klingon ship left here? There's only 1 Klingon ship in this entire deck? All right, so I have to pick a different deck, so I guess I'll get a Klingon person. There must be more Klingons in here. Lursa? Oh, what freaking Lursa? Oh, well. But I'm going to put her in the discard just because I want to get my last ally for the stupid mission. And I think I'm just going to discard all these. All right. All right, I will empty out the cards. We got 2 left. You know, they don't seem to ever get allies, and I can, so let's put that there. So what's going to happen now? Oh, we're going to wipe... Oh, any neutral location with no tokens present. That's fine. I just didn't want, them to steal the planet I was about to get. But they're doing 3 cards. No duty officer. Oh, we got a ship. Crud. They're probably going to stop me from getting that planet, aren't they? Oh, no. Explore. Yay. So they'll go to the empty one, but they get 1 red. So this is going to Baku. And then directive. That's right. They discard 3 cards, and they're going to gain 2 on their tracks. So they're almost ready to get another card from their piles. And last, another ship. What? So they can gain another red and explore again. So it's the fewest total tokens in general. So then they care more about the victory point value. So they'll both be there. Okay, and they're resolving this. So they wipe the market. That's another Klingon, but I got enough now, theoretically. They don't wipe this because everything's got stuff on it. And they're taking one of the 6 tokens from the new cards. We're getting to the end, and they're putting it on. I'm sure it's going to be this one, right? Because that's still worth 0 to me. Yep. All right. Things are wrapping up here, and I don't think I'm doing very well. Okay, I got some ships. I got Deanna. Let's use Farpoint to draw a card. Yes. Okay, so let's beam this here. I got to discard a card to do that. I guess I got rid of the incident. And now, yay, I have at least 3 allies on the same ship. And, oh, God, I don't have at least 2 of these up to 4. I thought I'd gotten my yellow higher than that. Okay, well, hold on. All right, well, I can play data to gain 1. And then I'll just have to wait a little while, I guess. It's frustrating because I want to get those guys and actually, play them and log them. I'll definitely play Worf and take an incident because I'll use her to discard. Oh, God, I got to discard a different card. Fine. I'll discard a different card because then I get a glory. Oh, whoops. I forgot to do my planet. So they get a glory. Darn it. This probably would have changed my turn, right? Oh, find up to 3 persons except in your reserve deck and beam them here, huh? So, yeah, I got to get some people. And then I can recall them back. Ooh. Yeah, look, I can recall people from here to gain a Latinum, and then I can still play them. So that'll be my 3rd action. So which one do I want to play? Well, definitely Laris, and then I guess Riker. Well, no, let's get my Let's get Laris and my 2 Klingons, so I'll be able to, kind of put Worf on a ship and then get my Arbiter of Succession thing going. Yeah, okay, so they're going to go to Risa. Cool. I don't think anything else would have changed about my turn. Okay, so I get to send 2 people to a neutral location, which has to be the newly revealed one because they have ships everywhere else. Oh, wait, why did I think I was out of cards to play? Well, whatever. I will go ahead and use Risa, gain a Latinum to get her. I don't have any stupid... do I have any way to get this? Here, my Shellowcraft. So hold on. I will gain a dilithium as a free action. Then I can beam a card to a ship or call a card beam to a ship. Oh. Well, so that means I would have had to discard set a course. So yeah, let's be smarter than I was and say that instead of doing that, I use that to beam the last ally there. Okay, then I can do this and that to raise up my blue, not my yellow. But I get to draw 2 cards. Okay. Now, I could buy development, but I don't have any dilithium at the moment. Man. Oh, here, even though it's kind of a waste, I'll get rid of 1 glory token to count as 2 dilithium to buy Geordi, I think. And then I'll draw him and this one. Okay, did I actually have... I feel like I cheated or something, like I have more cards than I'm supposed to. Maybe I did. I'm sorry if I messed up somewhere. Now let's use Deanna to draw a card. And no, I will discard it to gain a glory. And then... I don't have the dilithium to play that, but if I did, it would get me the hand to resolve my mission. Is there no way for me to get dilithium right now? Darn it. Well, here, we'll hang on to it for a second. I'm going to play the pack-led freighter for an action to deploy the ship. I may gain a cargo from the junk. Let's see which one is the best for me. That's worth 2. Nope. So sure, it's not great, but it's 2 victory points, so I'll still do it. I'll put it in my discard pile. I mean, if the game card is a weapon, which it is, I gain 1 red. My red is actually almost up to 2 victory points somehow. Okay, but I don't have the dilithium to actually warp that guy to go capture the planet. Where's my card that gives me, dilithium for every location? Yeah, so I can't do diplomacy right now. What's my last action? Oh, I can draw a card, discard a card with set a course. Beautiful. Draw. And I'll discard the incident. And then I can warp it to 2 of my ships. Awesome. So let's send the pack-led freighter there to capture that on my next turn. Oh, and Geordi, you may find a ship and you may refresh a ship. That's cool. So that's a free play, so I can find a ship. Do I have one more? I thought I did. I do not. Never mind. Let's not play Geordi. Yeah, because I don't need to beam anybody else or get another duty officer. And Geordi's not that great. Why'd I get him? All right, so I'm actually going to keep both of these because I want to use both of them next turn, I realize. And everything else can get this. Oh, wait, I didn't have... No, there's no way I had 6 alien, non-Starfleet things, right? Because I've got 2 Klingons... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm 1 off again. Yeah, because Data and Worf and all them wouldn't work. Oh, wait, I did have Laris in play, and she's a... Oh, wait, hold on. So, yeah, it's Romulan for 1, Klingon for 2, Alien for 3, Klepian for 4, Transcendent for 5, Alien for 6. So I did have it. Okay. So yeah, I have 6 different species in play. It doesn't need to be, on ships or anything. And each Alien Transcendent counts as a different one, so I take the top discovery for free. Oh, they meant encounter. That's a misprint. Okay. And I take it, so it goes straight to my hand. Oh, and it's a free play. Oh, gain 1/1 and deploy this card, the Guardian of Forever. My hand size increases by 1. Whenever scanning, I can look through the junk 2. Then I can activate it to recall a non-time travel card from your staging area. And then take an incident to gain an action and log the... Holy crud. Okay, so for now, all I'm going to do is play it and get 1 handshake, 1 science. Now, can I do more than 1 mission in a turn? Because now I have enough yellow. Oh, wait, but all beamed cards are dismissed when I complete a mission. I have to count 1 of those as part of it. I think that was it for beam cards. Gosh darn it. All right, well, because I'm not going to be able to do my my ally mission quite yet. I'm still keeping these. All right, that'll finish my turn. All right, and we're almost done with the second to last card. That's really good for them. Those, not so much, so we'll do that. All right, they're doing 3 again with no duty officer. They do gain another card. So first is a person. I think they're going to make him their controller, right? They gain 1 red. If able to gain a Vulcan. Oh, they can actually gain a Klingon this time. Good for them. That's another point. And otherwise. So all they do is promote this guy to duty officer. Okay, second card, the new one they gained is a directive. Remove 2. If able, no, they don't have any people down. To gain top encounter, then log this card and log duty officer. Otherwise, gain a shady. Otherwise, attack. Otherwise, cargo. Otherwise, ship. When shady is Moriarty. That's funny. Okay, they got that. He was only worth 1 victory point, though, so that's not too terrible. Okay, and then they play the scimitar, which is going to engage, and they're also going to send out a crew token. So engage is most of my tokens, although it won't be enough, right? Because where do they want to send the crew? with the most bot tokens, yeah. So instead of stopping me from getting this, they're going to secure Delta Vega for their turn. And they're going to finish up the second to last card. That one's currently worth, just 1 to me. Beautiful, because it's going to be worth more, hopefully, by the end of the game. And this goes to me, but it doesn't have any effect. So we've got only 5 tokens left, which realistically, they always get a turn after me since I went first. But yeah, realistically, we're probably going to get like 2 more turns, maybe? Okay, let's not forget, we get this location. I didn't really look at it. So the pack lead goes away. My crew comes back. They get 1 victory point for their guy. And controlling this does nothing. Oh, but resupply, I'll get 1. But resupply, unfortunately, happens before controlling. So it might be worth very little to me. Though it's close to being worth 3 victory points. After playing Utilize, you may put a person on the top of your deck to duplicate Utilize's other play operation. I don't think I have. Oh, I do have Utilize. Oh, and that gets me a lot of dilithium. Oh, this is actually really good. All right, so I do have 6 cards in my hand, by the way, because of Guardian Forever. What does it do? Recall a non-time travel card from your staging area. Oh, so I can play it again. Then I may take an incident to gain an action. That's pretty great. Definitely want to do that before the game ends. So yeah, let's actually play Utilize. So I'm gaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 dilithium. So hopefully it won't run out the rest of the game. And then I may put a person on top of the deck. Well, let's actually use Farpoint Station to draw first, so I have like full options here. Okay, she's one who lets me beam a lot. Let's put her back on top of the deck. And that'll let me do this one as well. So I could increase, my ship is one of any of them. So I could increase blue by 3, yellow by 2, or red by 2. Blue by 3. Yeah, let's do blue by 3, because that's getting to eventually 5 points for each one. I think I've got several, maybe. Okay, let's see. I can also get the ambassador back to my hand and get a Latinum bar. And then I can beam him and start working on getting like 3 Klingons. So sure, let's go ahead and discard a card to beam him to the Enterprise D. I guess the incident. At this point, I'm just trying to get victory points. Oh, here, I can free play Geordi to get the Pack-Led Freighter right back to my hand. And I can refresh the Enterprise D. I'll try. I wanted to do this. Play Diplomacy and 1 of that to draw 2 cards. Discard 1. Ooh, Strange New Worlds I can actually do now, I think. Yeah, because I really need to be getting that going. So let's discard her. Whoops. And I gain a yellow, but it's not really close to being good enough. I do not have enough action. Should I do my Guardian of Forever thing already? Sure, why not? I'll recall Diplomacy because it's free to play. And I may take an incident to gain an action and then log that. But I'm going to have her not gain the incident. I have to discard the card, and I gain a glory. What am I going to discard? I don't know. The Analyze. So now I have a 4th action for the turn. I'm going to free play Diplomacy. Oh, actually, I forgot. I can gain an ally and log this once per game. I should probably do that. All right, so let's log Diplomacy. That'll cost another action because I'm trying to get victory points. Although, I guess I could put them on top. I don't know. Sure. So I've got 2 actions left. I kind of want to finally do Strange New Worlds because I feel dumb that I haven't yet. So here, I'll discard a card to deploy and warp the Voth ship. Discard the Pack-Led Freighter. And I'm going to send it to Farpoint Station because I finally want to do Strange New World. So I'm going to select a controlled location with a crew and a ship. I should have done this a billion years ago, like 50 times. Okay, I get to look at the top 2 encounters and pick one of them. And then I log this and gain a blue. Let's see, just looking for victory points. Shakari from, what was that, Star Trek 5? Or Vizur from Star Trek 1. So this is 9 or 7. I don't know if I'll even ever get to it. I mean, that's right. This, I take it, right? It goes right to my hand. Take one of them, yeah. That just lets me log up the 2 cards from my discard pile. What does this one do? Needs an action. Nah, I'll go ahead and do Vizur. So I'm out of actions to play Riker, but I will go ahead and play this. Oh, and I'm not even logging anything. Log up the 2 cards from my hand or discard pile. I don't know, this dumb cargo and like one of the incidents that I don't think I'll ever get rid of. And yeah, I can't play Riker. I think I'll just discard him. I don't know. You know, very importantly, there are 3 tokens left on the card. I'm putting out 1 right now, so if they get any glory during their turn, which seems pretty dang likely, then I won't get another turn. Okay, so what am I going to put it on? That's worth 1 to them at the moment. It's worth 3. That's worth 1. Let's do it on that. Oh, and I'm going through my deck so I can buy what will be worth most victory points to me. So that's currently worth 4. These are worth only 1 each, my yellows. That's an ally, which worth 1. So it's really one of these 2. Return an instant from my hand or discard pile. There's a good chance I'll draw at least 1. Let me get that one for, 3 dilithium. Okay, go to the almost last turn. They are grabbing this, which means they gain a shady if they can. No. Oh, they dismiss their duty officer and gain whatever. Oh, and I have to discard a card. Person, cargo, ally. 3 For them, currently 2. For them, currently 3. So they'll get the triples. Okay, then their 3 cards. Maybe the last 3 cards of the game. Number 1 is a directive. Discard 3 cards and gain 2. That is going to push them up to the ×3 multiplier for both of these. Okay, then a ship, which is going to get them a red, which pushes them up to ×4, and they deploy it, and it explores. Holy crud, 10. I don't want them to get that if possible. Okay, and then a person. They gain 1 more red. They gain a Vulcan or a Klingon. Yep, Talok's on top, darn it. And then he becomes a duty officer for next turn. Oh, okay, so they didn't finish it. It would have been better for me if they did, because they might get a ton of points. So they get to put 1 more of these out. They know that's worth a ton to me. Oh, I'd love to get her, by the way. That's worth 4 victory points minimum. So 2, that's worth 2. So yeah, that. Oh, and I had to discard a card. One of my incidents for sure. Although I have a communication in play, so I'll discard that one. And unfortunately, I don't have my card that lets me draw more cards. I don't have my card that gives me a 6-card hand, so I'm actually in a terrible place here for getting anything done. I don't even think I have 3 actions to do. Oh, this is so stupid for the final round of the game. Oh, I should gain a dilithium. I think that was the first time I could have done that. Well, let's free play this to return the incident from my discard pile, because I can't do the other part of it and secure a location. I don't have any. I guess I'll play her to get a dilithium. Cruddiest ally ever. And I can't get the 3 allies on my ship, unfortunately, for the mission. This is dumb. All right, for my first actual action, if I have a communication in play, which I do, I can return this card and gain 2 dilithium. And then I can deploy the pack-led freighter, and I can gain a cargo from the discard pile. Is that really the only one? Worth 0 to me? Great. And if it was a weapon or anomaly, I would get 1 red, which still wouldn't make it worth points, but it wasn't. And God, is that it? I just sit here with a final action and do nothing? Yeah, pretty sad, Mike. Pretty sad. So I will trigger the end of the game, and then they'll get to go. I don't know. That's worth 3 to them now. It's 3. That's 4. That's 3. But they don't tend to get allies, so I'll do that. And now, man, they are going to get 1 more special card. And not a great game, but hey, at least you see how everything works. Let's see what their final things are with the duty officer. Cargo. Resolve the top card of the supplement deck. Log both of these. So it's another person. Log the top card of the bot's deck. Discard the top 3 cards. That shouldn't matter because they're not going to get through again. Then gain a Shady or a Vulcan. Otherwise, gain 2 red. That gets them almost to 5. Hopefully, they don't get all the way there. They get to deploy another ship. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I didn't mean to do this. I wanted to send both of the ships I deployed to that 10-point location just so they can't friggin' get it, which now might actually matter. Deploy the ship. It engages, which means it goes where I am. And then send that to a neutral location. Most of bots. Yep. Okay, so that's good. Although if they get 1 more, they will still control it. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That was wrong. They would have been exploring because they got rid of their duty officer. That means they would have just gone there. So I guess my movement actually didn't matter at all. And then they do a final person. They get another red, which gets them to 5 times. Jerks. And they still can't get a Vulcan or Klingon. Oh, they dismiss a ship to gain a person or ship. Okay. Yeah, I mean, none of them are actually going to control anything, so it doesn't really matter which one. And person or ship. This one's worth the most. And that'll finish us up. So now we go to the fun/terrible job of final scoring. We get 1 point for every glory, 1 point for every token we have on neutral locations. Oh, that did help me out. And we get endgame stuff, the value of every victory point, including these if you completed at least 1 mission, and the value of the missions you did. Yeah. So I'm just going to do that off screen, and then I'll tell you the total. Okay, and yeah, I actually pulled it off, 66-62. I got my most points from my cards, especially Vizur being 9 was huge. You can see they got a lot here. They only had 2 red cards, luckily. So if they'd gotten more of those, they reached worth 5 to them. That would have been huge. All right, so with that game over, let's do like a little review. Again, I haven't played the game a ton yet. This is only my 4th play. But honestly, here's the reason I'm not doing a review. 99% of the game still feels like Imperium. Yes, there are mechanical differences. Like, yes, you have the on-deck officer. You have ships in the competition over the neutral zone. But like the actual core gameplay feels very Imperium-esque for better and worse. Like I think pretty much all of my positive comments about Imperium still apply here. All of my caution comments about Imperium still apply here. So yeah, if you like deep deck builders, if you like complex deck builders, more like in the Dominion vein than like the quicker ones, like, you know, Ascension or whatever, I think you might have a really good time with this one. It's going to have a ton of complicated effects that can combo together in really awesome ways. Even though the market is not that big and you are going to see cards pretty frequently, I think that's in a way a good thing because the captains are super different, and that way you can use like cards that you get more familiar with in different combinations and things. I've only played solo, and I will say the solo is solid. It's not that hard to resolve. Yes, counting and scoring takes a while. The game in general takes a while. But if you're here for a meaty deck building experience, this is probably one of your best options out on the market. So with that being said, let's get to the comparison to the Imperium system and talk through some of the key things. So first of all, I feel like compared to Imperium, at least for the captains I played, there tend to be fewer like in-play, ongoing cards you got to resolve turn after turn. The locations, not too many of them get activation powers, your captain's activation power you're using. And then you have your duty officer, but that's only one person at a time. So I feel like in terms of powers you're going to automatically reserve every turn, this is maybe slightly less than Imperium, but not really that different. I do love the duty officer thing. I think it's a very tough choice. I think it makes the people feel very unique and let you kind of set up big combos, but you have to, again, make the hard call about who is most valuable to you at different times and when you want to switch them out. So I think that's a cool evolution. The market feels about the same. There are fewer cards to look at, although I guess if you count the neutral zone, we'll talk about that in a second, not really. Yeah, there are fewer cards to look at, but cards in this game I find tend to more often have multiple uses and different ways to play them, which I think is good for that complex gameplay puzzle that Imperium already does so well. So the fact that there are 4 cards instead of 6, I think is kind of balanced by the more text on the card. So I think you're going to have about the same overload potentially when you're first playing and just like mental challenge of keeping track of which cards you might want and which ones you might not. The neutral zone mechanic, entirely new, and I think this is great. I think it's really interesting, just trying to get your people on them. It kind of models in Imperium where you would collect the little location cards and then discard all of them. But here, locations basically never go back in your deck, which I think is a cool thing. They don't muddy up your deck as you capture more of them. So even the ambitious warlike captains won't like fill their deck with a million cards over and over again. And the little competition here is going to work for some people, not for others. I find it very interesting. I find fighting over locations with a bot pretty cool. And you saw usually there are options to go somewhere where they are not if you don't want to compete. But I know some people in Imperium didn't even want to use like the regular attack cards and attack civilizations. So if you hate direct conflict, this game forces it more than others. So, you might like that aspect less in this game. Another big difference that I personally think is an improvement from Imperium is how the incident cards work. In Imperium, you would have tons of unrest cards under many types of the market cards, so you'd get a lot more unrest to your deck. Here, there's not that many of these, and they are more rare, but I find them a little bit harder to get rid of. So I think that's nice. I don't want to deal with a ton of unrest cards. I mean, Imperium does have kind of a different feel of trying to manage these than this game does, but I personally prefer not getting punished for deck building as much as you kind of do in Imperium with unrest cards, and I think this is a cool change. I also personally like this new timer with the Stardate cards. I think how it naturally progresses and amps up the bot's difficulty and just how you can use a different deck for different bot difficulties is really smooth. And I think while Imperium has in some games just gone on way too long for me and I kind of lose patience by the end, while this game still can go long, the fact that this is always progressing and always advancing to the end, often by 2 or 3 tokens a turn, means that this game so far has not felt completely overlong. Again, it is a little bit longer than my personal preferences for games tends to be, but it's, I think, better than the original Imperium. Another complaint I had in Imperium was scoring and how long it took, and I would say that's about identical here, honestly. I think it's slightly faster because there are fewer of the cards, endgame cards in this case, that score based on other types of cards. You're not like having to go through your deck like 3 or 4 times to count off every asterisk card, but those do still exist, and for some captains and some builds, they will be worse. Instead, you're resolving these, which is pretty quick, just counting like what multiplier you got and times the number of cards of that type. But yes, I found scoring in Imperium to be a bit of drudgery, and I think it's the same here. The captains feel different. There are only 6 of them, so it's less than in the Imperium sets, but it's still a good number, and all the ones I've played feel quite different from each other. And I think generally I would say the captains in Captain's Chair have a few more paths to go down, whereas Imperium, some of the civilizations I felt were kind of obvious and maybe like their best strategy with their cards. So there's maybe a bit more flexibility in the 6 captains, even though there are fewer of them overall. So if you were really into Imperium, would I rush out and get this one? I think it's still going to feel pretty similar, that if you already have a lot of stuff for Imperium, you might not need this. If you've been interested in Imperium and have never picked it up, I think, for my taste at least, this one is better. And not just because I'm a Star Trek fan. Even if you take the theme away, I think the bot runs more smoothly, scoring slightly faster maybe. So I think there are some improvements here, again, at least for my taste. So there you go. Hope that's helpful. Thanks for watching. And a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Pedro Lucas, Nick Skeen, Miles, Wayne Scott, and Steve Wren. We'll see you at the next stop.